Judges, are you ready?
Yes.
Timers, are you ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Honorable Judges, we affirm the resolution that states stand your ground laws are a legitimate expansion of the doctrine of self-defense. We define stand your ground as a law that allows a person to use force in a self-defense when there is a reasonable belief of being threatened without an obligation to retrieve force. We define legitimate expansion as a legal application of the doctrine. We define self-defense as the right to protect oneself against violence and threaten violence with whatever force or means are reasonably necessary. Contention 1, stand your ground diminishes crime rate. Subpoint 8. More guns lead to less crime. According to PI 2012, with recent developments in Florida, it's not surprising that the anti-gun lobbyists will launch an attack on stand your ground laws. This shows that guns protect the innocent and anti-gun lobbyists is bad and leaves citizens defenseless against crime. Subpoint B, stand your ground law is a perfect law according to Getz 2012. Assuredly, there are a few laws on the books so pure that they can be improved. It wasn't the fault of Florida statutes that Travis Martin is dead. If Zimmerman claims the stand your ground law defense, it doesn't make the law wrong. It shows that stand your ground law is the best law in the best case. Zimmerman case is irrelevant to the law. 2, stand your ground protects the innocent. Subpoint A, stand your ground laws value human life. According to Martin 2012, the facts that surround stand your ground laws are clear. Nothing is more valuable than human life. Citizens must be able to protect themselves without fear that self-defense will be legally problematic. This shows that the stand your ground law will save lives of all the innocent. Subpoint B, stand your ground are pro-women. According to Jasmine 2012, stand your ground helps women feel safe. Consider an elderly woman in a dimly lit parking lot or a college girl walking to her door. If either would attack, her duty was to turn back and try to flee. Stand your ground law that victim didn't have a choice to defend herself to meet force with force. Calls to repeal stand your ground are anti-women. Until stand your ground was passed, criminals were suing victims because victims in protecting themselves were using force against criminals. You have the right to protect yourself. This shows that Florida's lawmakers claim stand your ground is for women despite exemption for domestic violence. Contention 3, public support stand your ground. Subpoint A, stand your ground is a good product. According to Getz 2012, stand your ground is not a right-wing overreaction. It was passed by bipartisan majority of Florida legislature. It shows that stand your ground is a product of bipartisan and not corrupted lobbyism. B, duty to retreat ineffective. According to later Wall Street Journal opinion in 2012, individuals usually cannot know that they can retreat in complete safety when facing aggressors armed with guns. For example, in states that require retreat, law enforcement officers making arrests may always stand their ground when threatened. Mr. Zimmerman's right to use deadly force in self-defense under Florida's law was officers' right to use deadly force in the state requiring retreat. This shows that duty to retreat is ineffective and has too many exceptions. For these reasons, please vote for them. No. Sorry. Opponent. No. Yeah, I'm ready.
After 2 cc words.
2 cc's. Wait, not yet. Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. What is it? Oh,
It's really not wanting to
so
do
what's
this
the
right now.
other? So it's 1 cc, 1 cc.
1 cc.
Is there a negative lock? I don't want negative lock.
You're not in the mood of doing this.
Neither am
You just
I.
want to hurry up and get over it, right?
S and C, S and
None of us are
It's
really.
only going to clean up on
okay,
C.
6.
Wow.
No, things like gel and
Oh, I don't know.
yeah.
I just need a steel wool pot.
Okay, so, judges are ready.
Yes.
Opponents are ready.
Yes.
Timer.
Yes.
3, 2, 1. So, we need to get a resolution that states stand your ground laws are a legitimate expansion of the doctrine of self-defense. 1, we define stand your ground as a law that allows a person to use force in self-defense when there is a reasonable belief or threat without an obligation to retreat first. 2, we define legitimate expansion as a legal application of the doctrine. 3, we define self-defense as the right to protect oneself against violence or threatened violence with whatever force or means that are reasonably necessary. My partner and I support the law because 1, stand your ground law is a shoot first law. Subpoint A, it harms the innocent. According to Michael Yaffe, U.S. Civil Rights Commissioner, ever since the law has been enacted, there is a big jump in homicides in states like Texas or Florida. In practice, stand your ground really means shoot first and ask questions later. According to the police and prosecutors, these laws have allowed countless dangerous individuals to literally get away with murder by claiming self-defense in situations where deadly force easily could have been avoided. Impact. People can claim self-defense and shoot anyone they feel like without being arrested or charged. So point B, victims take advantage of situation. According to Tampa Bay Times and other articles like New York Times or CNN. Martin was slain by George Zimmerman, who was carrying a gun while patrolling a gated community. Zimmerman shot the unarmed teen in an apparent scuffle, claiming self-defense. According to Linda Lopez, member of the Arizona House of Representatives, it leaves the possibilities to open things for things happening like in Florida with the Trayvon Martin case. You could use that excuse to get away with murder, so to speak, and there would not be an ability for the law enforcement to have consequences for people who abuse that. Impact. People can simply tell you that they were only using the firearm as self-defense. Contention 2. Stand your ground is unethical to some groups of people. Subpoint 8. It is a racist law. According to New York Times and other reports of Verity like CNN, Zimmerman has pleaded not guilty to charge of a second-degree murder that were filed only after the governor appointed a special prosecutor to investigate. The case has become a national racial flashpoint because the Martin family and supporters contended Zimmerman singled Martin out because he was black. Saying he has no discretion under the state law, the judge sentenced a Jacksonville, Florida woman to 20 years in prison Friday for firing a warning shot in an effort to scare off her abusive husband. Impact. Civil rights leaders believe that the stand your ground law is a racist because if you're black, you're most likely to be found guilty. Subpoint B, a disadvantage for certain religions. According to Islamology.com, the religion of Islam forbids the killing of innocent people irrespective of the cause, religious, political, or social beliefs. Quran, the Muslim holy book and scriptures declares, you shall not kill. These are his commandments to you and that you may understand. Impact. It shows that if certain religions like Islam are against deadly force, so even if stand your ground has been passed, some religious people may not be able to bring themselves to pull the trigger. 3. How much time do we have? Altogether, once criminals are more cautious in the near future, they have a high chance to find another way to shoot without being charged. In addition, criminals can hide from you and harm, threaten, or even murder you before you even wield your concealed gun. For these reasons, we urge you to vote for con. Thank you.
Wait, what was your second?
Stand your ground is unethical to some groups of people.
Cross-examine.
I think I lost that.
Oh, I asked first.
Yeah, I already asked.
How long is cross-examination?
2 minutes, 3 minutes.
3, 2, 1. Are you aware that the public supports stand your ground laws?
No.
What are the dates for your evidence about the unethical?
We don't have the dates right now.
Are you aware that the Zimmerman crime is irrelevant?
How is it irrelevant?
It's irrelevant because I read it in the case.
How is it irrelevant if he claims that the stand your ground law protects him? Because
I'm sorry,
like how is it irrelevant if Zimmerman claimed
Because according to COPO 2012, April 24th, the assertion that Florida law allows shooting whenever someone believes it is necessary is a flat.
and how was that relevant to Zimmerman's case?
Here you go. Okay. My question is, are you aware that Zimmerman is Hispanic? Wait, what is that?
Zimmerman is-
And then, I have evidence that it protects citizens. The stand your ground.
Are you aware that stand your ground law in the future will just basically allow anyone to just shoot anyone whenever they want to,
Can
and
you
also
please
encourage-
answer my question?
I think I have a right to ask you a question as well.
Yeah, but you didn't answer my question.
Well, I haven't even had a chance to ask a single question.
Yes, you did. Okay. Are you aware that citizens have the right to self-defend themselves? If an elder woman is running and they have no place to retreat because their legs are so old, then they can't if there's no stand your ground law, then they can't pull out a gun and shoot people and they'll that. And then, yeah.
And
So shoot first is law, right?
how is it? Well, some people, it just encourages vigilantism.
No, we already read in our evidence that it
Doesn't
decreases
encourage,
crime rate.
but it encourages vigilantism.
Do you know why the 11 states don't have stand your ground laws?
No.
Okay, I don't know. Do you know that anti-gun lobbyism is bad?
I did. Yes.
Okay.
She said that I didn't answer any of her questions, so I answered her question, and then she asked another question.
Okay. I was getting confused.
Can you pick that up?
Did they say?
Oh, it's easy for me.
No, you got the kids on so Sheila, please.
Listen.
33. So he's like, oh, it's 33.
I'm supposed to judge another one right now. Whatever, just go on.
Alright, it's gonna
It's Andrew.
Hi.
Andrew.
Please don't post
Angel,
this on
Angel.
YouTube.
Right.
I'm really tired.
What's your plans? Okay.
Can we pause the camera?
Why?
Can you aim it at